Hello guys, we will presentation about design brief. But for the first time, let me introduce member of the group. So, my name is NIDA NURAHMAH.
Hello, my name is NABILA KHORULIA.
My name is OTHMAN KHALIV.
My name Muhammad RAFIF Saputro.
What is the design brief? Design brief are a design work guide. Every design work will need a unique and specially made guide brief in order to produce an appropriate, precise design. Although often overlooked, briefs are very important to help client and designer communicate in the same language framework context. A good brief provides all the basic information a designer needs to produce work that meets client expectations. What is a design brief? The answer: a good brief is a brief that can make you ready to run a project. Broadly speaking, the design includes two basic information. 1. Job description, project scope, information about client and product event, required design result. Project management, deliverables, the final design the client wants. Timeline, purchasing, time and budget. Step in design brief. 1. Introduce and understand job expectation. This early stage is the right time to get to know more about job expectation, which will help you to decide whether you are the right person for the job and can meet this expectation. In the early stage of communication introduction, you can start with a few questions that help get to know the client and what they need. If you already know the client, this section can be ignored. General information about the project, such as the name of the project, who the client is, how big the team is, what the client has done related to this project, how do they find you, from whom do they know you, from careers or job search site or something. Have they seen your portfolio? Why are they interested in working together?
The next stage, job expectation. To understand more about the scope of work, what do they want from you, what products do they want, the final artwork they want, the capacity of the client team to measure how much you are involved in the project. For example, whether to attend the presentation or limit to production, or whether they have an internal creative team. Basic information about material, readiness, and planning. Where will you be needed? Who will be involved in the project? Are there other teams? What materials are already owned and prepared? Have they all been designed from sketch, etc.? Their questions are important so that you quickly understand what scope of work the client offers, measure their ability and real work coverage, can decide whether you are fit or want to take this job or not. Complete the brief. If you decide to work on this project, we move to the next stage where you start receive brief. Time to complete the brief. Information that must be included in every brief is detailed information related to technical work, reference, setting of needs, research, and budget. The following is a list of required information in the design work brief. Technical work. What is the expectation final result? Size, shape, mock-up, etc. In what media will the artwork be used? Mostly in print or digital media or online, etc. What is the desired form? What format for the final artwork? Flattened form, or template or editable format, ag.psd, work templates, PowerPoint templates, etc. Understand about the brand or product. The questions asked here are: who are they and what they do? Translation: what is the object? Here means the brand or product. And what is its use? The more detailed information you know about the brand or company and its business goals, the more familiar and easier it is to understand the client. Of course, the information here is related to design work. Yes, you don't need to know the financial statements. Get complete information about the brand or product identity, story or history or philosophy of the product, branding guidelines, the tagline, the creative element, interesting or selling point or key selling point of the brand or product. If deemed necessary, competitor, what they admire or like or dislike. Reference design they like and why. Know your target audience. Who is the target of the design that you will produce? Who is the target audience? Pro tips on the goal. The target audience for design work can be more specific because designs are made for specific needs and contexts, such as digital social media campaigns, or brochure, or billboards, or banner ads, etc. So make sure the target audience description here is the appropriate target audience for the design work. Some of the categories commonly used to describe audience are age and gender or gender economic status. A reference that is often used is socio-economic status or SAS, interest or hobby or passion or habit. Pro tips: ask the client to choose an Instagram or influence profile that match the aspiration of the audience.
For smooth communication in the project, please request this information from the client. Who is the person in charge? Who is the source of information during the project? The form of design presentation delivered, prototype, mock-up, PowerPoint, printout, or digital file is sufficient. Who is the decision maker or how decisions are made, especially regarding approval. Pro tips: get the administration clearance done before you start working. Start working after the client sends a formal agreement to cooperate in the form of a work contract, work order, purchase order, or pre-order, or others. Always send a recap of the result of the discussion meeting from each take and revisions and ask for feedback from the client. Make sure the budget, deadline, and term of payment are agreed by both parties. 5. Tone of voice and key message. Tone of voice is closely related to the image that the brand wants to achieve in the eyes of the consumer target audience. What impression do you want the audience to leave? For those who are not familiar with the term tone of voice, the simple language is about the personality or brand characteristic when it is introduced and wants to be conveyed to the target audience. The easiest way to get this information is to ask the client to provide 3 till 5 words to describe the product. Pro tips: help your client to describe or find their tone of voice. If it's still difficult to describe, Ask the client to provide a reference design, image, website that they like or represent their brand. 6. Method or workflow. Working together will be easier and more effective if both parties understand each other's workflow. This section may not be included in the brief, but in the work contract or whatever document formalize this collaboration on the project. Therefore, here communication is expected to go in two directions. The designer must explain, describe a design workflow, material required from clients, such as logo, color code. If there are material or components that have to be produced separately, outsourced, please inform the client, especially if it requires extra time and budget. Stage of work and client involvement at certain stage, including revision the final result they get.
Interpreting it to design. Audience. Our business name is Kebab Biasan. We sell premium kebabs at affordable price to premium ones. Our target market is level 1, Gen Z, and millennials, 14 years to 35 years. Majority of women. Theme and details on the design. I want this packaging to be seen as premium and very millennial. Goal is different from the others. Next, I attach my new outlet design. Please adjust the color to match my outlet. And please attach my menu to the packaging so that you just have to tick the additions and the choice of sauce. List of menu name attached. Choice of sauce: no spicy, medium, and spicy. What product will this packaging design be used for, and what is the size? We need a kebab packaging design. For the ideal default size is 6.5 times 4 times 21, according to the example picture 1. Now, I want to make it different from the example of the packaging. I want the shape not square or box, but hexagonal, but still functional, for example, so that food remains comfortable with the pull and open it in front of it, exactly like the example picture 1. Well, for the hexagonal detail size, I haven't tried to make it. I can only give the brief and the rectangular size. So for the hexagon size, please adjust it to the rectangular UK example so that it matches the contents of my product or kebab.
Designer will learn how to interpreting and respond to a customer design brief. We will use a sample project from Design Crowd to illustrate the basic guidelines to submitting high-quality design to a contest. Example: we need a logo for our company called Northwest Yarns in Bellingham, Washington, America. We sell yarns, knitting, and crochet accoutrements, spinning wheel, fiber for spinning, and looms. Cephalopods like octopus and squid are important for our brand, as we are known for our cephalopod artwork inside the shop. We are looking for something vintage, perhaps even as far as hipster, and that incorporates either tentacles or cephalopods. Bonus point: for figuring out how to work in a skein of yarn and knitting needles, or a Turkish drop spindle, we will want any fonts used to have serif. We would also prefer a black and white or transparent design, since we will also be using this as an advice nail cut out on our shop windows. Must have deliverable logo combination mark, combination of the logo mark and logo type, company name, Northwest Yarns, theme or pictorial element, octopus, squid, tentacles, visual look and feel, vintage logos, hipster logos, fonts, serifs, color preference, black and white or transparent background, printing, use for shop window, signage via vinyl cutout, nice to have, work in a second pictorial element, skein of yarn, knitting needles, or Turkish drop spindle. Using the keywords from the brief, we show you the logo design that match the design brief.